All right, class. When we left off last week, Max and Isadora were almost to the next safe place when they were discovered by the man in the green truck and a police officer on either side of a bridge. And Max and Isadora were in the middle, and they were about to give up. He was going to hand Isadora over to the authorities when he remembered he needed to be ready to improvise at any time. And he told her, "You have to be more brave than you've ever been before. Follow me, do what I do." And they jumped off the bridge into the river. So here we are at chapter 23. The plunge was cold and the water churned around them. Through bubbles, Max saw Isadora's face, her cheeks puffing out as she held her breath. Her dress ballooned. He motioned for her to kick her legs, and they broke the surface at the same time, gasping. Max opened the flap on the backpack, and Churro sprang from it, clawing at Max's neck and head. He grabbed the kitten by the nape of the neck and held him above the water. That's that skin on the back of a cat's neck. The men tried to get close to their jumping off point, but Lola barked and growled, keeping them back. Max took a few strokes away from the bridge. "Lola, come!" She leapt from the capstones. As she splashed into the river, every duck on the water lifted into the air. Lola paddled towards Max and Isadora. Isadora bobbed lower, her eyes filled with fear. "Churro!" she screamed. Max quickly pushed Churro toward Lola. The kitten swam frantically until Lola grasped him by the nape like a mother cat. Max yelled, "He's safe, Isadora. Kick your legs." She rose higher in the water and swam towards Max. He grabbed her hand. Together they moved themselves through the river until Isadora could reach Lola's collar. She hung on with Max side-stroking next to her. By the time the men reached the middle of the deck and leaned over the capstones, Lola was already ferrying the little brigade up the middle of the river, making fast time in the glassy water. Max knew they wouldn't shoot. They couldn't risk hitting Isadora. To claim the reward, they had to bring her back alive. Max surveyed the land on the other side. Thankfully, there were no roads anywhere that he could see, and the bank was far too overgrown for any vehicle to pass. But when he glanced back, he spotted the men hiking down the bridge's revetment towards the riverbank, on the same side of the river to which Max and Isadora were headed. They slogged out of the water onto a narrow beach. The men were no longer in sight, but they couldn't be far behind. Isadora shook uncontrollably, her teeth chattering. Max put Churro in her arms and her eyeglasses on her face. "You did it, Isadora. I'm so proud of you, but we need to keep going a little farther." Max held her arm as they walked north, leading her through the dense shrubbery to keep out of sight. "Are they coming?" said Isadora. "We're a good distance ahead of them, but we have to walk fast and as fast as we can until we reach the cove." Within the leafy bushes, Max could no longer see the shore. They pressed on, but still couldn't find the inlet. From the bridge, it had been easy to spot, but now Max was disoriented. Had they gone too far and missed it? "Isadora, stop. We need to find the river. Listen for the trickling." Isadora's eyes filled with anxiety. "Are we lost?" Lola whined and Max shushed her. I just need to get my bearings. We need to go north. That I know for sure." Max slipped the compass out of his pocket. He placed it in the palm of his hand until the needle swept towards the inn. "Okay, follow me. It can't be much further." He hoped he was right. What if he'd gone too far and missed the cove entirely? If he didn't find it today, they'd have to hide and try to double back tomorrow. Max could see Isadora was tired, but he had to keep them moving. When she slowed, he took her hand and gently pulled her forward. "We can't give up now, Isadora. Come on, you can do it." Lola suddenly bounded forward in the bushes and disappeared. "Lola," Max called, groaning. He called her again. "Lola!" When she didn't return, he pushed aside the thick foliage and found himself on a narrow beach where the shore curved. The cove! They caught up to Lola and saw what looked like a dead end, but at the back of the curve, vines and willows arched across the water, creating a thick veil. Max shoved aside branches to find the unmistakable stonework of the secret bridge. He inched toward the center, separating the tangle until he found an opening. They ducked into the bridge's shadowy underbelly and followed a narrow stone walkway that hugged the tunnel wall. If you weren't searching for this, you would never find it, thought Max. They came to a wooden door with a black iron knocker, a peregrine falcon with a ring in its talons.